No, my mama dead, right?
I didn't say nothing about your mama.
I'm just saying, you talking to me like you my mama. You ain't my mama, Joy. You is not my mama. So let's not even do that. Hey, you remember Jay Prey? Photographer?
What? Let's just restart.
I'm about to start. You remember Jay Prey?
Let's break on 2.
1, 2, 3. Remember Jay Prey?
He shot that?
Yeah. Like 8 years ago.
Looks like it.
Like 8 years ago. Don't do Jay like that.
You know the me voter there?
Oh, that's right. Y'all used to.
I am. It's already on.
Oh, it's up there. Okay.
Look at Elam like, hold up, y'all ain't go, where my YouTube action at? We got you, player.
No.
What up, hello, good morning, Frederica.
Hey, y'all want to hear the best drop on Power 1089?
What is it?
Not yet.
This is my good morning.
Hey, it's Case.
This is Dr. Stein.
This is Elam B. King, author of Understanding a Man, and you are waking up with Michael and Joy in the morning show. Power 108.9.
Show.
Michael Joy in the morning show.
Shout out to my drops. Okay.
Hey,
What up, Kim?
Melinda.
Oh, Kim down in Orlando. What up? Ashik, what up, man?
Check.
I know it's hot down there.
Stay focused, Elam.
Don't let them do it.
Right.
It's just social media.
I was just saying hello to people.
Hello. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check.
I missed it. I'm loving all of me. Good morning.
Michael and Joy in the morning.
Whoop, whoop.
MichaelAndJoy.com is the website. Got an amazing show for you today. Today is Friday. Y'all know what that means. Elam B. King is in the building.
Yeah.
Author, Understanding the Man. UnderstandingTheMan.com is his website where you can go cop that book today if you prefer. Or
Yes, sir.
you could bootleg it. They are bootlegging it at Camilton Road in Texaco, right there at Camilton Road and Ferry Road.
I was gonna say the cool part is you ain't gotta worry about a cover, so won't nobody really know. It look like it's just a bunch of paper with that one staple in that corner.
Hold on.
And you fold the paper
Not a
back.
staple.
Hold on. As a matter of fact, I got the bootleg copy right here. Elam B. King's Understanding the Man, right
Like
here.
a manuscript.
He's like, give me $4. You can have it. Now, Elam B. King is in the building. He's going to be hanging out with us today like he does every Friday. I got a lot to talk about today. A lot of new movies coming out today. Oh, I'm going to tell you about this doctor, man. I didn't realize doctors made this much money. This one had made like $50 million, but he did it the wrong way. I'll tell you why. Also, Ruben Foster, he's an NFL player. His girlfriend had accused him of domestic violence, but I'm gonna tell you the motive behind why she did that. Let me see. Also, Michael Keaton had a cool video at a college commencement speech. I'll tell you what he said before he walked up off the stage and talking about sex today. The elusive orgasm.
That just happened?
Well, I know. There's the FCC. We're done, Elam. Pack it up.
Did that just happen?
Hey.
I got that live.
So,
I cannot focus.
if you ever heard that a day in your life, boy, she was faking.
It wasn't real.
Hey, we're talking about that. We got some birthdays and shout outs, national days on this day, all that good stuff. Today's show is being brought to you by our guy, Elam B. King. Elam B. King, author. He's talking about what is Mike and E on.
What up? That's for his live feed.
Right, he's still standing at the front door.
Literally.
Handcuffed.
Can you come acquire me, please?
Right, he tried to be all bougie. Negro, open the door. It's not that. Just open the door.
I didn't know.
Just open the
Bob
door.
or something.
Understanding the Man is the book. Elam B. King, author's going to be hanging out with us today. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff today.
Yes,
Michael and
sir.
Joy, Power 108.9. Wake up, shawty.
They talking about the elusive orgasm. This is gonna be.
What was that? The elusive orgasm. You didn't feel that, girl?
This is Michael.
Elusive. That's the key word. It's elusive.
It's all in your mind, girl. It's all in your mind. You can't.
No, sometimes.
No, I'm just clearly. Clearly. Some people understand.
You got to learn yourself, ladies, first. That allows you to
Listen to the voice.
acquire the elusive orgasm.
Hey Teresa, good morning. What's up, Stephanie? Hello. Telling your business, Joy. Caught you, shouting.
Just joking. I was gonna say, that was from when Harry met Sally. When they were sitting there.
That
at the
is
table
from that
and
part,
they were
and she
talking,
did that right at
and
the
she did it
table.
right in the restaurant. I've been waiting to do that all my life.
See, you got people asking, send me a copy or I'm bootlegging. I'm gonna go bootleg your stuff. That's from
We
that.
got it.
I got
She
it
said.
right here. I got it right here. Just go to Michael and Joy.
Hey. PayPal, Cash App.
Just meet me outside of One Battery Center.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What? Everybody know where we at?
Security breach.
Right. Glad I made friends with a security guard outside.
He stayed around there
And we
though.
got Eddie.
You talking about something? You walked it. I'm not gonna do
He said, "Oh,
Because I had asked whether or not I could park in front
Oh,
when it
the
rained that
handicap?
one day.
you should have got you a quick handicap sticker."
Elam,
Huh?
ain't nobody say nothing about handicap.
No,
I
but what
said
I'm
just closer to the front door.
I was saying if you had grounds to acquire one, at least
Joy,
for
what's that up?
Oh, sure. I'd be freaking.
at least a good 6 to 8 months, because my man had he tore his Achilles and he
I didn't
for a
even
good
think about
year.
it. Trust me, I still got still
You
got the
what?
brace.
Oh, I thought you about to say you got that other one.
Did you used to park a handicap when you was pregnant?
No, I parked in the one where it said expect me.
Oh, no, most places don't have. That's Target might have that, but you roll up.
Check.
Parked in the other one.
You roll up to the Kroger. They don't have no expecting.
Which Kroger are you rolling up to?
Check. Put up.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I've never seen expecting at a Kroger. But then again, I live on the east side of Atlanta, so east side of Atlanta, we
Ready,
don't.
Joy?
Good morning.
Michael and Joy in the morning.
Man,
Do you hear that?
I do.
Gosh.
It's the elusive orgasm.
Check. 1, 2.
I hope
Check.
it don't sound like that.
Check. Right. That thing sound hollow. MichaelandJoy.com is the website. Power 108.9 is the website. And we got a new app coming out, y'all. In the next couple of weeks, you will be able to download the Power 1089 app.
That's dope.
Check out the show. You'll be able to check out all the past shows, all the videos, all that good stuff. So you don't have to go somewhere unknown if you don't want to. And for listeners like Latasha,
Who love to listen to.
love to listen to the show. She don't like watching us.
Ask her how that sounded on the radio.
She sound on what?
Or whatever. I'm joking.
Oh, my bad. I got caught up. I got caught up in the Joy Pearson. My bad. 5/18 is the day, ain't it, Joy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, today's the 18th of May, 2018.
And on this day, it is National Visit Your Relatives Day. It's observed every year on this day. It's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of today's fast-paced lifestyle, and we can soon lose touch with our relatives. On this day, it reminds us to stop for a minute, take some much-needed time, and visit those relatives we care about and maybe have not seen for a while.
Yes.
Also, send them a text.
Yeah, just go by. Yeah,
Send them a text. little group message on.
Post them on Facebook.
No group messages. And Father's Day, please don't add me to any group messages.
Hey, shout out to John
It's not June
Bunn.
yet.
We got
Still Mother's Day, but
the video of John Bunn. He wept and clutched the hands of a judge who exonerated him after he spent 17 years of his life behind bars for a crime that he didn't commit. Now, Bunn is now 41 years old. He was 14 years old when he was charged with second-degree murder for the death of an off-duty correction officer in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, back in 1991. And on Tuesday, Bunn was finally exonerated of the murder charge. In an emotional moment during the hearing, Bunn approached the bench and clutched the hands of the judge as he cried in tears. If you go to michaelandjoy.com, you can see the video of that. And it was just so emotional. Like, I got chills when I saw that thing. Can you imagine
All
17
in
years
years?
of your life
Woo!
doing something that you didn't do?
Yeah, I can imagine.
And
it.
cut down as a teenager too. So.
Right, he lost all his teen years. Right, it's like
Really
kind of being
dope.
like Michael Jackson. Like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson,
About that.
he chose to do that, right?
About
that was
well,
a choice.
I don't know.
I don't know. Joe
His
Jackson was
dad
kind of
looked a
hard.
little intense.
Do they get money when stuff like that happens?
Yeah, it depends on the state. Some states do give
Reparations.
you.
No, seriously.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some states do look out for the criminals, but you know they might give you. You know how they
I was
pay.
gonna say like how much, like what, 10 grand or something? Like
You know how they pay you a jury duty.
you can't pay 17 years.
I mean, but let's just say whatever they're given is more than he was gonna get. So then there's that.
What are you talking about? From over the life of his 14 years, or 17 years he was
No, but I'm
gone?
just saying if he wasn't gonna get anything at all, and they say, oh, here's the check for 10,000 or 17,000, maybe.
I wouldn't even
$1,000.
take it. I'd be like, keep your little money.
Boy, you're right.
Yo,
Yes,
you
you
coming
would.
out? You coming
I'm
out?
about to say, Michael,
with
don't
no
lie
skills.
now. Don't,
You know what I'm saying?
don't.
He might have
flex.
got his GED
GED.
or whatever, but yeah, maybe I need mine.
JED.
J.
What that get you?
I saw the J over there. That's the thing.
Hey, before, is that what you got from where you from?
I'm about
They
to
doing
say,
the JED?
you from Jersey, right? Okay.
Hey, let's talk about who you are in your bio. Yes, I'm a high school graduate with my JED.
Hold up. Who you screwed in high
High
school?
school, right.
High school?
High school graduate. But no, I think you're right. You're definitely right. Whatever he gets, definitely gonna appreciate it, because when he walked in there at the age of 14 back in 1991, he
Yes.
had nothing in his pocket.
Not at all.
Nothing.
He gonna come
You
out
know
with
ain't nobody been putting that on the books considering they thought he really did it.
what he came out of there with,
That's true.
some platinum FUBU. He on that platinum FUBU.
He could definitely write a good book, though.
Shout out to David John. Oh no, he gon' be
That's a
okay
good-
afterwards.
that's a good book deal.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good book deal.
He had on some trees.
Definitely got some motivational speaking engagements lined
That's
up
true.
for
How
us.
he flipped it to, positive. So that's
How he
good.
cried to the judge, that's gonna be a good ending.
He had on some
He got a
Tritons.
moment.
He had on some Tritons and a beeper.
He had on some British Knights.
Yo, what you know about the gold pen?
BKs? Yo, slow down.
Shout out to
I'm
British
not that
Knights.
much younger than you.
Elam B. King is in the building. What up, Elam?
Whatever's going on.
Hey, what's the word, my brother? How was you were back up at your alma mater where you
Oh,
earned
yeah,
your
that was
JED?
Ain't you? Slow down. Slow down now.
Nah, I saw some videos
Nah, it was
of
awesome,
you over
man.
during the week, man. What, y'all had y'all 50-year reunion or
Nah,
something?
right. You know what? I found out that the people who are 50 year, they got this thing called emeritus. So the lady sitting next to me was actually on her 50th, and when it was time to do the Hampton Hymn, I knew like two
You
sentences.
knew like the first.
She knew the whole thing. 1968.
Oh, she was on it?
How that make you feel?
She was like singing the whole thing, like from start to finish.
No, that's what I said. She was on
was
it.
all-
Yeah, I saw you with. I saw
How
the
that
video.
make you feel? Did it
I
make you
felt
feel
all
that
right,
way?
I mean, University 101, it was pass or fail back when I was there, so a D got me a pass, so,
He was like, so I didn't really need to learn the song.
Really didn't.
It's like, I don't know it either.
but I'm gonna know about the 25th reunion.
What did you know? What did you major in at Hampton?
I was a marketing major.
Okay.
You-
Yeah. If you don't mind, what year did you come up?
98.
98. Now, marketing has changed dramatically since 98 to today, right?
Absolutely, and the funny part is I actually went back and got my MBA in marketing and project management in 07, 08, and again, by the time I got out, I was dated already.
Right, I see
So,
what you're saying.
That's why I didn't even worry about it.
Now, subsequently did move into that. I'm a vice president of a marketing company now, along with my line brother John Fleming. But we had to learn in the field. Unfortunately, at the time, there was no social media. Come on,
Yeah,
late
right.
90s.
Right.
When I got out, I remember I had that cool hotmail.com email address back in 98.
Let's talk
Rocket
about
Mail and whatnot.
I remember telling somebody just recently, I went on my first listing appointment as a real estate agent, and I went on my appointment and I'm trying to nail the appointment. It was like a $600,000-$700,000 house, and as I'm getting ready to leave, he was like, "Awesome, Michael, what's your email address, and I can send you some information." I'm like, let me work on this email address thing, because I have no clue what you're talking about.
And you know what's funny? That was back when and nothing against anybody who has their MBA or whatever, but people used to have that as their signature, like such and such MBA. By the time I got mine, I was like, okay, I'm good on the signature. Like,
Right.
It doesn't matter.
I don't necessarily know whether or not that's really meaning much. Let me just act like I know what I'm talking about.
Elam B. King, author, Understanding a Man, and we're talking about how quickly things change in America. You know what I'm saying? We Eddie is our on staff millennial that we work with, and we were talking about, we have this new segment that talks about, it's called How Time Flies, and we were talking about music, and we were just listening to Puffy's More Money, More Problems. Well, whose song is that? Mace? That's Mace's
Mace with
record.
Puffy.
We
I was
listening
gonna
to
say
that.
actually.
That was but that's probably in the early 90s.
I'm gonna tell
I
you
think.
that was '98 as a matter of fact, because I was, I participated in the step show, back when I had that thing, from a step show perspective. So that was one of the songs that we stepped in.
That y'all.
But you
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
you go back to 1998 and you look at relationships and how relationships are changing, because let's be honest, when we were growing up, our parents were the wife stayed at home, cooked, did laundry, folded towels, cooked, did the laundry. That was the perception of the woman in America back in the day. Now you try to get a woman to do that, not gonna happen.
No, it's funny. I was just literally having this conversation yesterday, because a lot of, particularly for women of color right now, they are the biggest genre from an educational perspective. And the reason why, because they watch Big Mama, and maybe even their mother, from a self-esteem perspective, or maybe in the household just not be able to do certain things because there was a restriction thing. So then they just kind of broke out and said, "Bump it, I'm gonna go be the Claire Huxtables of the world," and things of that nature. The problem is that in the plight of doing that, they lost some of the same qualities that Claire actually had in her home. So her strength is what they took, but the strength outside the home is what they took. But the strength in the home is what was lost.
What was lacking.
So that's one of the reasons for understanding a man, to just kind of let the ladies know, hey, look, we love the strength, we love the independence, but there's certain things that inherently that we need inside of the home.
There you go.
And if you expect us to be the educated one in the home to keep that thing together, like, we're not that glue. It is the woman at the end of the day.
When we were here last week, I want to say it was the last time that you were here, or it could have been whenever, like our days run concurrent. But we were talking about women that they take on everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They are everything in the household. They are the CEOs, the CFOs, the housekeeper, the peacekeeper, the cooker. They do it all. They put everything on their backs.
Yes.
And is that because they were groomed to do that? Or where did that mindset come from?
I think that there is think about it. So here goes the grooming, whereas you're now going to push forward a lot more outside the home, right? So you're exerting yourself out there, and different people pulling you in different directions. And then inside the home, well, what has society always told you? You got to be there for your children. You got to clean your house. You got this. You got that. And then there's certain areas where, when the men are supposed to step up, and if we don't, then they're still like, well, I got to do it.
It's got to
you
get
just
done.
wonder. I mean, well, who's gonna do it if you don't?
Exactly. So you have some men who aren't in that collaborative mode. So now she's running out there, she's running in here. Meanwhile, you're still putting certain demands on herself, and she's pulled completely from her own happiness. And so there's you got to take care of you first. Ladies, men, step one, you got to take care of you first. And then save something in your tank. You should not be emptying your tank out there for Mr. 9 to 5. That should not be happening. And if you're walking in your purpose, you're going to keep, a little quarter tank left for your home.
Right.
Most women walk in the home, their tank is spent.
Right.
And now you got kids and husband, and you're like, got to take care of the kids, and the husband's over there like,
well, what about me?
Hey, here I am.
You know what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, he's not necessarily thinking about filling her tank because he's on empty.
He's on empty because he's not walking in his purpose. So now you got a recipe for disaster, and that's when 7-10 years in, I'm not happy. Divorce.
Understanding a Man is the book. Author Elam B. King is hanging out with us today like he does every Friday. Shout out to you. Today's show is being brought to you by Elam B. King. You crying, brother?
No, coffee jumped.
I'm about to say, handle that.
So the coffee just jumped on you. Okay, Elam boy. Your damn JET. Man, we got everything going on here today. Hey, Elam, how about you just open the door? It's Michael and Joy in the morning. Wake up.
Let go.
Oh, man.
What up, Sky?
But Lily, I was just having that conversation yesterday about that strength, outside versus in the whole Claire Huxtable thing, because that's what women wanted to be like. Claire, come on, that became like an icon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, who else?
But why was she the icon?
Come on.
Because she handled it. She was
handled
handling it all.
And she was an attorney too, wasn't she?
And
Yeah,
was
she was an
on top of that.
attorney.
How many cases she do though?
I was like, well, it did. we never really saw her in the office like
Yeah.
we
Right.
did.
I don't think we ever saw her in the office.
Nah, she never.
We saw Dr.
I might have
Huxtable
seen her
delivering a
with that
couple
briefcase
babies.
once or twice.
When she was
I never
coming
saw
home,
Claire
she was like
in the
Tommy.
office.
When she was coming home.
Anybody see Claire in the office? I never saw Claire in the office.
Hey, look, Torigado.
Yeah, name that episode if you saw Claire in the I never saw Claire in the
What
office.
up, Mike Bibby? Never saw Claire in the office, but I did see the episode when he put the heavy boy on his leg and he couldn't move it as fast as he did with all other kids. He was like,
My man Seven said, "My queens do as they wish, then I pick up the slack from a maid to keeping the children." He has a polyamorous relationship.
oh.
Polyamorous?
Oh,
that's
you
not-
don't remember?
So he's open.
Who put a song to that? Juju.
I was gonna
Where's
say,
Juju
actually,
Mama at?
I was turned on to polyamory a while ago.
Oh,
What up, Roger?
okay, turned on to it. Okay. What?
I mean, I'm just saying, turned on to the term. Turned on to the term. Most men can't really handle it.
I never heard that term until we
Yeah,
interviewed
about
her
2
that
years
day.
ago. And then
I thought it was just polygamy.
You know, I told you I listened to a lot of Esther Perel, so I think you should just watch some of her YouTubes just to get the perspective of how she feels about that.
You gotta go to Juju Mama 7 on
I don't know whether that
Instagram.
is Juju.
It's Juju Mama.
What
As
up,
he said, he never
Raheem?
saw her. She
Oh, yeah.
polyamorous, not
What up, Polo?
polygamy. No,
I was
he
gonna
said
say if he goes up to the
he said polygamous, not polyamorous. Nah, she says polyamorous.
No, she's talking about polyamory. You might be talking about polygamy. You might be on that big love. You know.
He said multiple wives, not just an open relationship.
Oh yeah, no, that's big love. Remember the TV show where he had that one house in the front and then his other two wives had the house in the back.
Hold on, I'm just imagining.
It was like on
the whole
HBO,
thing.
and all of them
What
had
else,
kids.
Ryan? Huh?
All of them stayed at home.
I haven't been on HBO.
You know what I'm
I don't
talking?
know
It's a super old show, but yeah. So they had the main house in the front, and then they had the house in the back, two homes in the back.
Does Real Sex still come on HBO?
I don't know, but
Last time I heard it was like Real Sex 35 or
you
something.
saw Claire in the office, Mike?
Mike did not.
Yeah, right. She was in.
Does Real Sex still come on
She was
there?
in Heathcliff's office.
Huh?
She was in Heathcliff's office.
Yeah. But
I don't
she's
remember.
never been in the office. I've never seen.
Pull it up, Mike Bibby.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Today's show is being brought to you by author Elam B. King.
Yeah,
Understanding the Man, and we're talking about relationships today, like we always do on Friday with author Elam B. King. He is in the building. Hey, we're gonna talk about Reuben Foster and what his girlfriend did to him, and now I think she should pay. And also, I got this doctor story, man. This doctor was raking in the millions, boy. But he wasn't doing it the right way. And they also caught Jennifer Love Hewitt. You remember Jennifer Love
I
Hewitt?
do.
They called her the red carpet. I'll tell you what her excuse was. She was looking crazy.
They caught her on the red carpet.
Yeah, she showed up like, it was like she woke up like, oh damn, I'm supposed to be somewhere. Her phone. She woke up, she had 90 missed calls. She's like, don't hit.
Oh, well, I guess they just gonna take me how I am.
Hey, we got your birthdays, your shout outs, all that good stuff. But today is the 18th of May, 2018.
And on this day in 2012, Facebook Incorporated held its initial public offering and began trading on NASDAQ. The company was valued at $104 billion, making it the largest valuation to date for a newly listed public company.
I made a question the other day. Well, I was just curious. Like, I had never seen a Facebook commercial in my life, like on television with like Coke or Apple or anything. Facebook never had a commercial, but now I'm starting to see a lot of Facebook commercials, and what they're doing is they're plugging the fact that they're going to keep you safe. Have you seen those commercials?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense because right now
Especially
security is a huge thing. So yeah, because Michelle refuses to get Facebook Messenger because she feels like that it has more
Something to
violation
do
into
with-
your phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, them jokers got access.
I said, but you know, the other beautiful thing about it is that it asks you, especially when you're downloading certain apps, how much access do you want them to have?
But everybody just goes allow. They don't
no,
really
no,
look
no,
at the
no.
terms
I
and
don't get
conditions.
them
Slow
push
down.
notifications. I don't mess with
No.
that.
Oh no, I reads it.
No, I reads the fine print.
Kill me. You read all that.
I read the well, when you're allowing an app, it's really only two things: whether or not you want them to
Contacts.
have your Facebook contact
Uh-huh.
list, and I think it's your email and your date of birth.
But then a lot of times it asks for microphone.
Yeah, for
Right, microphone
Oh,
access.
yeah,
so
certain
then you're like,
photos.
you know,
Oh yeah, well I
so-
ain't really talking about that.
Okay.
So since we're talking about access and access in relationships, how much do you access or allow a person to access in the beginning on that first date? Because we always talk about that first date. They're sending
First
their
date.
representative, like everybody chewing gum so your breath don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Everybody might have took a bath before they showed up on their date, but how much access do you give a person?
Look, I just think that you just need to be yourself. Like, don't put the representative out there. Go ahead and, not saying that you gotta, scratch and all that from day one, but just,
Scratch
but
and
just
shift.
be as much as your authentic self as possible, so that give the other person an opportunity to say, okay, I'm good. Why put a mask over it? Now 3-4 months later, they're like, ugh. Now everybody's heart on the sleeve. Let's go and get out that
Just go
thing
ahead and
early.
be more
Yeah,
transparent.
yeah,
Give them an opportunity of knowing who you are up front.
yeah.
And then I think that's one of the things that bait and switch.
That's
is very prevalent nowadays, where we want, everything to look polished and clean and crisp. And I was joking around with you the other day about how there was a girl, super cute girl on Instagram, and she was like, you see this great picture, I see a girl that just made a payment arrangement with Sprint.
Wow.
But then too, from the female perspective, men want to feel like you guys can help out some kind of a way. You
Yeah.
want to feel like you can fix something, and so for women, for us being so strong, I don't need you to open the door, I don't need you to do that. It's like, well, then you straight then. So
Right.
you good by yourself.
And as a brother, you taking a girl out on the first date, and now all of a sudden, second, third date, she asks you, okay, you trying to help out and be
Right,
strong?
right.
Help with this rent.
Right.
And then next thing you know,
See.
I'm calling Elam and being like, man, guess what Joy asked me? We only been out twice. Now she already asking me for money.
Yeah, I did. I did that. I remember
Oh,
it was
wow.
so funny having a conversation with one of my exes. He was just like, look, out the gate, maybe day 2, you were like, hey, I need help. He was like, but I appreciated the honesty because it allowed me to figure out whether or not I wanted to be around to help you in that capacity. 2.5 years later, I mean, he's happily married now, but I'm just saying, I was in a vulnerable space, and I think that men want to see women in that space.
I think that on the strength side, I think that where the fault comes in is a lot of times maybe on that first or second date. Because of the accomplishments maybe that ladies have had, they'll come in with that resume on their sleeve,
Yeah.
like, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. And so Mike is sitting there like, well, dang, I mean,
Ain't nothing left
you
for
know what I'm
us to
saying?
do.
And so there's a difference between, going and just being great, and then also giving us the impression of, look, I can do this but I would like to collaborate with somebody else. And, I'm currently an 8. I know I'm not a 10. I can be a 10 in my collaboration with somebody
With
else.
someone else.
But some people walk in there like, I'm a 10, and I bring the table to the table, and you can't do nothing for me.
Right.
We be like, okay.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
like,
not-
you know what?
Okay,
next.
10. Take your 10.
And then the other funny thing is there are a lot of women and men who feel like you bring a lot more to the table than you're really bringing to the table, because no one's really ever told you, actually, you know what, you're whack at that. You really can't cook.
Exactly.
Your cleaning skills is subpar.
Okay.
So no one's ever really being honest with you. So you think, again, that, you don't stink.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, it's like, no, probably worse than the babies.
Yeah.
And when we put categories or taglines on ourselves, for instance, when a woman or a man in that case always preaching how independent I am, or preach to the fact that I'm a single mom, or that I'm a single dad, or that I'm celibate. When I'm putting all these,
Celibate.
past, what
It
is
ain't
it?
bent.
Yeah.
You ain't bent.
Yeah.
Celibate.
Obviously, you know I'm not, right? Maybe I'm hella bent, but not celibate. But when we put all of these hashtags in front of who we are, does that take away
Yes, it
from
does.
everything?
I would say absolutely, particularly right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there, ladies, whether you like me or not. That word "strong woman" an independent woman. Like, why can't you just be a woman? Woman represents strength by itself.
Amen.
Bam.
Men don't walk around saying, I'm a strong man. No, we just say we're a man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, but when you put those stigmas behind it, it's almost like I was saying to somebody last week. Remember the word diva back in the 80s and 90s was like a positive thing for women? Like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to go hang on my dick. Now, you call somebody a diva, that's a negative thing. There's nothing positive about it. And I think that it's like you said, some of the labels, we always want to label something, just you're a woman.
Just
And that
allow you
represents
to be that.
strength beyond, beyond probably you putting that word strong in front of it. So because there's a mentality that comes behind that to whereas, look, Michael, I don't need you. And we don't want to feel like that.
Because
Well, the whole purpose of being in a relationship is to need each other.
right, there you go.
And
Every time you put one of those taglines out there to represent yourself, men and women are checking you off each time you drop one of them words. Don't need to know.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Remember how you had mentioned, oh, well, I want him to be 6 foot this and such, and you were like, you just knocked out half the population.
Right, 83% off the table.
Right.
Gone.
Now you got 4 men to pick from.
Right. All of them got bad credit.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to think about it, even on the men's side, if I say I play ball, it's automatically like I'm this type of guy, I'm making this type of money, I'm probably got this many type of women. So ladies have mentalities towards men too.
Next.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of playing ball, Reuben Foster was accused of attacking his now former girlfriend. He was accused of hitting her in her head 8 to 10 times, causing facial bruises and rupturing her eardrum. Now, her name is Alicia Ennis. She admitted, though, during a preliminary hearing on Thursday, that she was telling the police a lie during her testimony back in February. She said that I was threatening Reuben, who is 28 years old, and she said this under oath, that I was going to F up his career. He's a professional football player for the San Francisco 49ers. She said, I wanted him to go down. I was pissed. After Foster told her that he was breaking up with her on, that day during the conversation, she told me I was going to F your ass up and make sure you don't have a job tomorrow, according to the accusations. And what he said after that it was all about the money. Well, that's what she was trying to do, messing with. She was hurt. So we come back, we're going to talk about being hurt in relationships. We also got your birthdays and shout outs. Elam B. King is in the building. He's the author, Understanding the Man, understandingtheman.com.
Yeah. So glad he's off that Elam B. King album. 30 seconds.
Yeah, that diva.
The diva's over.
You don't want to be divas no more.
Yeah, she admitted
She went for bad, for real.
Yeah, she did.
I was gonna
A
say,
woman scorned, boy, I tell
the
you.
interesting part about that is, where's the financial get back from that? Like
They don't
women
even
can
think
be
about
out
that.
here just, dogging men out, and then nothing happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But let a man do it to
Right.
a woman, and
But that's real. That is real.
Because fortunately, San Francisco didn't cut him. Because
Yeah.
normally when those accusations
of
come out,
course,
yeah.
it's like no, we don't
No,
need that bad
not for the
press.
NFL brand. But I think they stood behind him and said, "Well, we're gonna wait
But
to see what happens."
I was having that conversation the other day
Well,
where
that's good.
even like the judicial system, it does lean more towards the side of the woman.
Of course it
You
does.
know, like when it comes to especially people separating and whatnot, the kids got to go with the mama, and the man gives up at the house
Well,
and
that's
everything.
why when you sit there and you think about custody and everything, I mean, like it's almost like the woman got to be like a horrible mom.
Oh no, she got to be a crackhead literally to in order to
for the kids
no,
to not be
literally.
with
But
her.
why is
Nobody's
that?
doing
though?
crack no more, Elam.
Why? But why is that though? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not right.
Yeah.
And that, oh man, I heard that.
Meanwhile, the dad.
Meanwhile, I heard Trump was working on some laws for child support. Now you talking about going to turn a whole bunch of stuff around?
You gotta get people.
Let Trump
you gotta
turn
get
around
people
child
off
support.
off of dependency.
Yeah.
Like
Let-
we really got.
You talking about
I
voting?
don't care who do it.
I ain't even gonna lie. Let Trump change them child support laws.
Some of them are jacked up.
When I tell you he
People
got my
out here
vote
paying
in the
$50,000,
next,
$40,000
I'm gonna
for
overlook
child support.
everything he said.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That much money. I mean, when
Wow, that's
Stevie
crazy.
J was talking about how much money he owes that one his one baby mama, the reason why he kept going back and forth from jail was because there was one point where he was making a certain amount of money, and then they wouldn't let him go back after the money went down. So he's continuing to pay that same amount.
And just like that girl that went for bad with the San Francisco, you got women that go for bad in the judicial system, just the child support. You could have a guy, a good dad, he happens to be making some decent money, she coming for it just cause. You know what I'm saying? And I think that stuff like that, boy, they gotta do something about that. Cause you have some...
it just needs to be fair for everybody. That's it. Like, not necessarily fair for women or
cause some states take the woman's income into consideration and average it that way, and some states don't.
Right.
So if she was making $1 million, it doesn't even matter. They don't even look at her income.
Right.
So
essentially the whole purpose is that I shouldn't be living like, living large, and then, when you go to your dad or your mom's house or whatever and you're living in the slums. It's just supposed to be equal. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be okay, well, now you got to be on my level, because how do you maintain that? If you're making $100,000 and I'm making $500,000, even if I do offset, income by helping you with child support, you're still not going to be able to maintain the type of lifestyle that I have, because you don't make enough.
But then how about this? How about we've been apart for 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, and now all of a sudden I come up with a concept, I blow up, I'm making even more money, way more than when I knew you, and now you want to come back for that money. You see what I'm saying? So you got people that gotta hide stuff over here and there, and then
put it in your mama name. I literally had a friend of mine that put everything in his wife's name. He never put anything in his own name, because he was like, "What was she not gonna do?"
Yeah. So,
it's very interesting how things.
You definitely should be taking care of your children, but for people who leverage the system the way they do to kind of get back from an vengeance perspective, stuff is wrong. Yeah. So if Trump changed that, hey. I'm voting for him. Oh, Monica said real sex 2000. Oh, it stopped in 2009. So
all right, Monica.
All right, Monica.
That Monica.
Guess we're gonna have to go back and watch on demand.
What's Monica's screen name? Everybody want to know. Hey, if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. Today is the 18th of May 2018, and if you got a birthday today, here's some celebs that share that same day with you. Also, don't forget, it's time to vote, guys. I'm going to tell you about the vote primaries that are coming up here in the next couple of days. Where you can go. I ain't going to tell you where you can go to vote, but I'll tell you how to find out for where you got to go vote. Hey, I read button blinking over there. Remember how you
I always wondered what that was. Oh, somebody left a voice.
Yeah, you know how you go into a hotel and you check in and then walk to your hotel room and the light be blinking already?
Like, what's that?
They be like,
who know I'm here?
That credit card didn't authorize.
Oh, you have a package downstairs. You can keep it.
Hey, if you have a birthday today, happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to Tina Fey. Tina Fey is celebrating her birthday today. She's 48 years old. She has and my next guest is on David Letterman on Netflix right now.
Oh, nice.
So happy birthday to Tina Fey. Also celebrating birthday today, Joistik turned 66 years old today. Hall of Famer, New York Yankee, Reggie Jackson is 77 years old today. Baseball player Reggie Jackson. He came out with a candy bar. Had to be late 70s, early 80s, called Reggie. Worst candy bar ever. Worst candy bar ever.
Let it go.
Right, and also a couple of WB birthdays today. Happy, that would have been birthday, Elam B. King. Pope John Paul II turned.
Who?
Pope John Paul. That's the one the dude tried to shoot him. Yeah, remember back in the day? Yeah, John Paul would have been 98 years old today. Passed away at the young age of 84. So happy birthday to Pope John Paul.
I'm about to say, boy, Lord, whose birthday?
And also, WB birthday today. Happy birthday to Jimmy Superfly Snooker.
Oh,
yeah.
Jimmy would have been 74 years old today. Remember, he passed last year. We did the story on his passing. And we also did the story of him kind of being exonerated for the death of his wife back in the day, because it was a mystery, like, who killed him?
Did it?
And then it was like,
she did
Jimmy
it.
Snooker did it. And then as soon as he got... Did they convict him, or which way was it?
I was gonna say, I thought that it was still just kind of like pending.
Pending, yeah.
They didn't necessarily know, but still, when you have cases like that and it's pending, it still messes up a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah, because I think it got to a point to where Jimmy Superfly Snicker was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, literally.
I'm gone.
Rest in peace. Happy early birthday to my beautiful cousin, Miss Bridget Gibson, and to my lovely mother, Miss Pearson. Happy birthday, mommy.
When mama birthday?
On Sunday.
All right, nice. Turn up,
Hey,
Amelia.
turn up,
Hey,
turn up.
Amelia, we got some of this fresh vanilla Ciroc down here at the studio. If you want
She
to come
on
hang
that
out with.
Patron.
Oh, she be on that Patron. That's what I'm talking about.
Looking.
Yeah.
Nah, that's something
A little
I
baby
get.
bottle. It's literally like a
We
sip.
live.
Yeah, hold on.
Well,
What that got to do with it?
I'm about to say, just put it in your car.
Elam B. King, author, hanging out with us today. It's the Elam B. King show today.
Da-da-da.
What's
What was that? I don't know.
What's Oprah's friend name?
Gail.
Oh, Gail King. That's what I was thinking. King. Hey, you can give us a call today, 678-383-2339.
How many threes is in that
There's a
thing?
lot of trees.
It
We
is.
got a bunch of trees in there. We're talking about those labels and independence and how things have changed over the
And
past
being
10 years.
scorned.
And being scorned. Yeah, going back to, appreciate that, Joy A. Pearson, going back to Reuben Foster's ex-girlfriend. She was hurt.
Yeah.
She was hurt because she thought she was going somewhere with Reuben, and now all of a sudden she
That
got
check
these
left.
trumped up
That's what that
charges
was.
after Reuben said, "Hey, I'm out this piece." So now she goes straight for the wallet.
Hey, look, what's it say? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So I mean, I get it, but I think what sometimes the ladies, when they're getting upset like that, they're looking extremely short term. Long term,
Clearly.
you know, you get I'm gonna go up to their job and X, Y, Z. Okay, if he loses his job, now what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can't get no money, or he can't help take care of the children or whatever. It's just like we were just talking about the child support thing. Like, for those people that, you know, that are doing what they're supposed to do, but then you keep trying to stick them, and now all of a sudden they coming up short. Now, what's the first thing they do? They take their license.
And put you
Well,
in
you
jail.
take your license, then after that they put you in jail. Well, then now nobody has anything.
Right.
Now your child's father is in jail. Or now they don't have a license to even go to work.
To
So
go to work.
how's that gonna help the long term out?
Yeah, I think that the issue that we have is that so many people aren't looking at things rationally. It's all about my emotions. It's
Yeah.
all about how hurt I am. Girl, you gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what
That's-
I mean? It's there are billions of people around.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, someone will find you, or you'll find someone, and this guy won't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you just sit there. In this particular instance, I only see a girl mad that the check left.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Maybe he did hurt her, but I'm thinking more importantly, he hurt the fact that she can't have the lifestyle that she, had or obtained while they were together, which is a super, super petty
Yeah.
issue, especially to go to the extent of saying that I want you to lose your job.
Come on
That's
now.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He might be a hero to people.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You know what I mean? Like,
But let's flip the script. Now, I'm not saying what she did was right, but just talking from a perspective of a woman being hurt
Mm-hmm.
and the possibility of all the promises that he made to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm not
when
saying
they
that what
break
she
up,
did was
you're entitled to be able.
But I'm not
to,
saying that. I'm not saying she's right. But from a male perspective, all of these promises that you're making to. I mean, let's be honest. If I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm telling you, yeah, we're gonna get married and I'm gonna do this and we're gonna have kids and we're gonna do all this kind of stuff, and then one day I wake up and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm
Well,
out.
I'm so glad that you said that, because in chapter 9 is something that's called sexual double standards, right? And this is what I say to ladies, and I know this might be a little tough, but when you are hearing those promises, whatever the case may be, and you're sleeping with the person to go to the whole orgasm piece, one of the reasons why that it is different from a sexual perspective of men having sex versus women is that when, a lot of women don't even know what the purpose of an orgasm is. So, obviously when a man has one, it's obviously, sperm, whatever case it be, all right. But from a woman's perspective, right, the reason why when a woman has an orgasm, what that does, obviously they have, 2 ovaries, right? Well, the orgasm literally squeezes the sperm in the direction of the ovary that released the egg for that month. So a lot of women don't even know that. So what that means is that an orgasm increases the possibility of you becoming pregnant, which is why you're actually having sex, right? So the more you're having sex with a man and he's giving you an orgasm, in your mind, it's mentally happening biologically. This person is giving me a higher probability of having a child, so I'm going to attach myself to them more. So that's why when women flip, they're flipping because it's biological. Like, wait a minute, you're the one I'm supposed to procreate with and give me children. So that's why, ladies, when you're like that, you can just do what men do. No, when we release, we're done.
Yeah.
When you get that orgasm, and that happens over and over and over, you are psychologically putting yourself in a situation where you're attaching yourself to that man. So that's when you got somebody flipping like that. I mean, that's where some of that comes from.
I don't know. It's super intense. That's one of the reasons why, even though Michael jokes around about it, you know, when you just take booty off the table.
No, that's serious though.
If you take booty off the table and you actually figure each other out, and you're having conversations and you're understanding, okay, well, how does he act when he gets mad, or how does she act when she gets angry, or how is she with money, or how is she with kids, how she's with this, you know what I mean? When you actually figure that part out about each other, you can figure out by date 2 or 3 whether or not this is right or not. But what you can't do is figure it out after I've given you something.
Exactly.
Because most women too are like, well, hold up, I done got naked in front of you. Now I gotta do that. I mean, let's just talk about from a mental perspective, not just naked in the sense that I took my clothes off, but I've given you a part of me, and now I gotta now this didn't work. So no, I'm gonna attach myself again, super, super hard, so that you can't leave. Hopefully.
I think Drizzy Drake had a line in one of his records where he was like, "Girl, stop tripping. You know I done seen you naked." He's seen all of that before.
That's
You know what I'm
exposure
saying?
level. That's good.
That transparency.
And I think that women are thinking, wait a minute, I've given you me. I mean, being inside of a woman is different than, you know, on your side versus us. We're pushing out.
You're inserting.
You know what I'm saying? So we're like, we're out.
Yeah.
You know, versus a woman, after I leave, I still left me in you.
You left a little something.
Some of us
you ain't get that.
Some of us are not out as fast as we used to be because of timing.
So you might have left more.
Right. May take a little time for us to get out, so we gotta mentally be. But hey, half a century after the sexual revolution back in the 1960s, men still orgasm about almost 3 times as much as women. Now, just over 90% of men every time they have sex, compared to around 1/3 of women who only orgasm. And yet, when women are masturbating or engaging in lesbian sex, 95% of women easily reach an orgasm in an average time of 4 minutes.
That sounds about right.
4
Oh, my bad.
Compared to which one? What?
Well,
Wow.
I heard the whole thing. I don't know if everybody else did,
But
wow.
but no, because it's interesting to find that there are so many women that are doing the Harry Met Sally, you know, where they're just like, okay, this feels great, but at what point is it going to be over? So I'm sitting here really like putting on because I don't want your ego to be hurt. I don't want you to think that you ain't, you know, putting it down. So I got to sit here and be super extra and, you know, yeah, I'm coming, baby. Yeah.
But I also want to put the accountability. Some of that accountability is on the woman because a woman has to know her body enough. Some women don't even know their bodies enough to, you know,
Put
you
that
might
mirror down there,
they might have a tilted uterus, which is going to be more difficult for them to have an orgasm. So there's some women they don't even know.
Michelle, how much research did Player have to do to get to write this book?
I'm good.
No, I'm talking about to write the book.
Oh, it's tilted, baby.
Tilted uterus.
Oh, that's what it is.
I mean, but that's a very good
That's
point
real.
because if you coming in straight on, then
It's going, you know, there's
There's
something,
certain
you gotta do
spots you ain't
something
gonna
extra, you know? So, I mean, hey, but you gotta know, they gotta know their
you
body.
gotta know your body. But no, I mean, dead serious. I know this sounds crazy, Mama. I'm grown, but women, put a mirror down there and check yourself out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why
like
not?
really figure it out because if another, you know, that's one of the reasons why the statistic says that lesbian sex, you are able to have an orgasm in 4 minutes or less because she knows me, because she got the same thing. So if I don't know what's going on down there, if I don't know, you know, what I like, then I sure enough can't tell you what I like.
And I also want to challenge the men as well, especially in your earlier years. You know, don't be scared to ask for feedback. Like, if you wasn't good, wouldn't you rather know when you're 20 so that when you're 30, you handling business? I used to ask, like, you know what? If you tell me no, good, I can fix this.
But you have to be in a serious space with your partner or whoever you sleeping with, that they're gonna be honest.
Yeah.
And I think that there are just a lot of, like I said, there are just a lot of women out here that are allowing men to flex, and there are men out here that are allowing women to flex when they really want to be like, girl, you a wet fish in the bed.
Elam B. King, author, is hanging out with us today. Today's show is being brought to you by Elam B. King. When we come back, we're going to get a millennial perspective on life. It's Michael and Joy in the morning.
A wet fish in the bed.
Just sit there and just make
there.
Yeah, Harry Beth Sally.
That's it.
Oh.
We talking about she had to hold down and turn around.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every man in that room.
Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Yes. Yes.
And then drink afterwards. I love it.
Like, was that enough for you?
Yes. 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 Oh. Oh. Oh.
The cool down was like something.
That is wonderful.
Oh.
Is that good enough for you?
Look at Harry.
Look at that. That's crazy.
I want what she's drinking.
But that's real talk.
Yeah, that's real.
That's real talk. But again, on both sides, men not really telling women, you know what I mean? You know, you think because you cute
Well, see,
that you just come with
honestly,
the bomb.
early on, I always say every woman thinks their stuff turns into sunshine. Every woman thinks that they got like the snapper of the century. And all of a sudden, I used to always tell men like, step one, close your eyes. Because see, we're mental, right? So you're looking at her body, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, you know, this is so good or whatever. Close your eyes. That'll really give you an understanding. What does it really feel like? So you sit up there saying, oh, she's the bomb. She's regular. What are you talking about?
I always say, I was like, we all got the same thing down there, just different sizes and shapes.
Hey, I mean, why not ask for feedback?
But again, you know, the intensity changes.
That's one of the things I'm kind of like, because I don't never want to boost myself up too.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I always feel like I'm good. I got trust issues. Yeah,
I know, right?
I got trust issues, so
I got trust issues.
I never believe you. I never believe you. I'm just like, really?
Michael and Joy in the morning. Classic scene
Trust issues.
from a classic movie. Y'all remember
When
that?
Harry met
But we
Sally.
thought that was when Harry met Sally. What's the actor's name? That was Sally Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
And Billy Crystal.
And Billy Crystal, which was what I was reenacting earlier today.
The classic.
And then you come back with this one right here. Who remembers this?
Yeah, give me Holly Court, 55377.
It's classic.
Hello, it's Daddy. Hey, darling, put Mommy on the phone. Yeah, Barbara, it's Richie. Yeah, look, I ain't never coming home no more.
That's the classic. I mean, for real.
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
Sunshine.
I'm never coming home no more.
You know?
Never coming home no more because Sunshine put it on them.
Right.
But you know, at the end of the day, whether or not how he's gonna be able to satisfy her down the road is gonna, just like we were talking about from a side. Men need to be okay with asking, hey, you know, am I good here? Am I okay? If you're
How
not
can I be better?
doing it the way you're supposed to, ladies, give them the feedback, you know, but men, be willing to receive that feedback, because you know, I always say that cheating is a symptom of a problem. And so maybe on your end there was a lack of communication, and that's both of you's responsibility. So you can't just expect him to know how to touch here or touch there, whatever the case will be. Give him the feedback, guide him, and the same thing for the ladies.
But it was always
To the left, baby, to the left.
as we reiterate, we talk about how things have changed over the years, because from a perspective of asking a woman after sexual intercourse if you had an orgasm, that was taboo.
Yeah.
You wasn't supposed to ask that back in the day.
Well, I think that I heard T.D. Jakes say this a couple of weeks ago.
T.D. Jakes getting it in?
He said that the baby boomer era, although they had a whole lot of great things, they had this code of silence, and particularly when it came to relationships. So mama really didn't tell daughter about, hey, look, you know, when it comes to, you know, your body on certain things from a sexual perspective. She didn't go down that street that women now know, okay, I wish we had kind of talked about certain things when it comes to my body, right? Maybe she taught you one aspect of womanhood, but this other aspect on the relationship, she didn't teach you that. You know, give your man feedback like this when he's not good in bed or
and
whatever.
be honest.
And be
Stop
honest
lying.
about it. But
Don't be like, yeah, that's the spot. When
Yeah.
it's really a little to the left.
Yeah, and then the men at the same time, the fathers have, I mean, you know, the fathers haven't said, okay, hey, look, son, you know, oh, we got a caller.
No.
Oh, okay. So, you know, hey, look, son, understand this, you know, this might happen with your body or that might happen, or, you know, afterwards, hey, ask her, was it good? If it wasn't, hey, you know, what can I do to make it better? No, because I'm the man, so yeah, I just hit it raw, I just hit it right. Nah, bruh.
Nah, actually.
No, you didn't.
I mean, and again, I just feel like it's just too many people. I've had girlfriends that in their 20s, going into their 30s, they were like, they've never orgasmed off of sex.
That's
And
word.
I'm just sitting here thinking like, that's just so sad.
And then
you know, because I mean, it's a two-part thing. So I'm wondering if it's not always the guy. You know, again, we have to know exactly what it is that we like. And if you don't take time to know your own body, then you're definitely not going to be able to give constructive criticism or feedback because you don't know what you like either.
And like you mentioned earlier, Elam B. King, that you have to ask the questions to the woman because what worked for your girlfriend back in 1990 it's not going to work for that woman in 2018.
And be willing to take the feedback and know that, okay, because growth is a continuous process in everything. I don't care if you're in radio, I don't care if you're in telecom, I don't care if you work for Facebook, you know, everything evolves. So, you know, just you have to walk into it knowing that and say, oh, okay, what worked before might not work now, or be willing to try something different or what have you. But don't just think that, you know, you the bomb because you hit somebody right when you was 25.
Yeah, kind of like
right,
almost,
stamina ain't the same as
stamina
45.
not the same, you know. Well, I mean,
Michelle!
It's kind of like almost the same way when you walked out of Hampton University with that degree.
With your JED.
You came out there looking like the guy from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, maybe had some platinum high
for real.
Marketing completely changed by the time you finished
with
school.
a guppy in the shoe.
Hey, we come back, we got more with Elam B. King, the book Understanding the Man. We're talking about it all today. It's Friday. It's a freestyle Friday.
I'm about to say it's a freestyle Freedom Friday.
There you go. Somebody else coming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure, great. Somebody can join in the morning.
Let go.
Power 108.9.
That's good. Let
We
go.
got shouted.
Let go of the code of silence. Give them the feedback. Just say, hey, baby, look. Okay? Would you say a little bit more to the left?
To the left, to the left.
What's going on?
That's what Beyonce was talking about.
What's up, young man? Good to see you, man.
You hear me? That's what Beyonce was talking about. To the left, to the left.
No. You know who wrote that song, though, right?
Neo.
Yeah.
He was talking about it too.
He got paid off for that song. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Good morning. Go over to Michael and Joy, please, because the session is pretty intense.
DJ, what you do, man?
Keep it moving, baby.
But you know what though? If you ask 5 women today, what is the real purpose for an orgasm?
They don't know.
They don't even know. They don't even know what the purpose of it is for.
You talking, right?
You know what I'm saying? Let alone so when it, man. Do you know the real purpose of an orgasm, ladies? Do you know?
Oh, I'm about to say, come on. It's pretty intense conversation.
We're gonna make that a part of the field trip. We're gonna ask 5 to 10 people.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com is the website. Today's show is being brought to you by Elam B. King, author of Understanding the Man. We're talking about how to, what this whole thing.
This
I don't know
how we got
Sex
to it.
101.
Sex, love, and orgasm.
And I'm going to tell you about Dr. George Zamora Kuzanda. I just made that name up sounding good. We're talking about that. Also, I'm going to tell you what Michael Keaton did at a college graduation. You rock it. You go to michaelandjoy.com right now.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
it. I'll tell you about that. What else? Brian Joubert popped up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Brian,
Good morning.
Brian like he doing some touch-up paint somewhere.
Hey, man, we go hard in the gym. We bleed and stuff
I'm
in
about to
the
say
gym.
that. I think that's blood.
We go hard in the gym, man. Like,
Brian working at Big Bear in the meat department. You know, cutting the meat up in Big Bear in the West
It's like
End.
that's for the Rocky movie.
no blood, no results.
Right.
They say no pain, no gain.
Hey,
don't
No,
go like that,
hold
my
up. Dave Clark said, "What a great topic for my morning drive."
No, but my
Shout out to
man,
you, Dave.
my man Lanier just said that we actually have to take the time to learn the mind of a woman because sex is 85%
Oh, of
mental
course.
and
It starts in the
15%
morning.
physical. You know?
Well, so you want to ready? Look, I was joking around with somebody. I said you want to ready at night. I was like, let that thing simmer all day. Start in the morning. Give her a nice kiss. Then when she leave, talk to her. Send her a couple texts throughout the day.
Okay.
Baby, you look beautiful. Baby, you did this. I can't wait to see you
Okay.
later. It's all mental. By the time you get home, she gonna be like, ding, ready.
Hey, that was science right there. That's real. That's
I mean,
real.
that's what somebody told me.
Don't forget to drop one of these pictures to her.
No, we good.
Oh,
No.
Especially that angle. That
Send
angle,
it- send it
that
that
angle ain't
D'Angelo
really
cut.
real.
Gotta send that D'Angelo cut pic.
Right. Eddie hanging out with us, our millennial crack staff, millennial personnel's in here. And Eddie, you brought up a comment as a millennial. Oh.
Yeah, no.
No, because
You too.
it worked. I mean, I was asking because you mentioned something about trust. And at your age, you're
I
in
got
your
trust
early 20s. You
issues.
said that you got trust issues.
Oh.
Why so early in the 20s?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say. I guess they're trust issue, but I just don't believe people.
That's
Just
that's
because-
actually a trust issue.
Okay, well then I don't believe people. It takes people to show me that they really got me, my back, for me to like actually put my faith in you. And that takes a little minute. Like you would have to, for example, me and my sister, we didn't really get along in the beginning until we had to go through this scenario where it was just me and her. And that's all we had was just me and her, and we had our back. We had to have each other's backs, otherwise we wasn't gonna get out of the situation. And ever since then, me and her been like tight. Like,
There you go.
So that's how. So that's essentially how. So women actually would have to jump over a few hoops before you actually believe anything that they say.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would just say.
Say
Let me
it.
throw
Right,
this challenge
I'm
out
not just
because-
gonna easily give you my trust
Yeah.
and my.
No,
And
that's
that's
understandable.
One of the challenges I want to throw out to not only to yourself, but I say this to ladies when they are with a man who might have trust issues, or just say that there's something from a psychological perspective, and they say, okay, I have trust issues. Okay, so my challenge or my question to you would be, okay, well, what are you doing? What are you doing in the relationship to move past that? Because what you're putting the woman in a situation is that she has to walk this fine line, and at any point she teeters over to the left or to the right, what she's gonna do is kind of like, there, see, that's why I'm not gonna marry you, or that's why, and now she's back to zero, and that's kind of an unfair expectation on the woman. So I always challenge the ladies to say, when a man says that, you also have to look at what are you doing psychologically from a counseling or whatever perspective, so that she's trying to walk better as you're trying to get your mental better to be able to receive. She might be only able to give you that 90% of that trust. Not that she's a bad person, she's just human.
For me, it's more along the lines of once you do gain that trust, it's there. It's not really going nowhere that easy.
Well, what's that got to do with the bet? No, I'm just
So I
joking.
mean, like once you do show me there's that trust level, it's like, all right, we good.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but Elam did have a good point. I think that, again, it's all about growth regardless. It's not just, okay, I got to a certain space and now I don't need to grow anymore. So as you continue to get older, you'll see things in people that will allow you the ability to work on that throughout.
Michael and Joy in the morning. When we come back, Brian and Joubert is in the building. We're going to holler at Brian and see what he got going on. Hey, Michael Keaton, the 66-year-old actor who studied at the University of Ohio, for 2 years before leaving to go to acting. He finished the graduation speech a couple of days ago. Now, we remember Michael Keaton. He played the Cape Crusader in the 1989 Batman, and also he did the sequel in 1992, where as he got up to talk to the kids at Ohio University, he uttered his famous 2 words. He told the kids, hey, remember, if you learn anything during your time here, do not forget, I'm Batman. Walked off the stage. He crushed it. Go to MichaelJoy.com. You can see the video. We come back. Brian the Joe Bear is in the building, and we're going to teach you how to find that thing. You got to inspect it.
Get that
Yeah,
mirror
it's
down
Michael
there,
Joy.
girl.
The elusive
Wait up.
orgasm.
Hold on, Elam.
So I mean,
And let Brian come
yeah.
up.
I mean,
I'm not. I know that's right. That's real.
Waking up on payday looking at your couch.
That's real. I be on the phone
Look, you
like,
don't even be out the bed yet.
yeah, be,
But like-
shit.
I mean, I'm with that.
Whoop,
Like,
whoop.
as far as growing in a relationship and trying to get to that point where there are no trust issues. Yes.
What we talking
I don't not necessarily narrowed it down to where
about?
that
Not you.
where it stems
Oh.
from.
He
I
just
really
said
don't
you're
know.
kicking it
It's
with
just-
him.
Oh, he was? Oh, I thought he
More
was coming out.
along
He had some breaking
I
news.
just
or something.
Like Jim is over here, and then I had to meet
I would say
somebody.
it's
over
very.
there.
I put it up on purpose.
No,
You know,
I mean, no. It's wise to, you know, some people have to earn the trust. But I just say, you know, on the lady side, I say, you know, just make sure that he's working mentally towards it too, because it can't just be the woman working towards earning all this trust. Meanwhile, there might be some development that you as a person, or not just saying you, but the person has to do, because maybe your expectations are just crazy. Because she's going to do something that's going to violate the trust.
I mean,
We can't miss that.
And
And then when
so-
it happens,
and
it's
so are
like,
you.
yeah, and so are you. So it's like, okay, when it happens, oh, that's another 2-3 years before I'm gonna marry you. Nah, bro.
Well, I mean,
well, put it on your joystick and stop tripping.
Nah,
You ain't trying to hold that phone.
I remember I had
Oh, you flipped the camera.
I had someone close to me say one time, he was like, man, if she acts right for 6 months, then I'll marry her. I was like, dude, you ain't never
I'm
gonna
about to
marry
say, I
her.
was like,
Because that's not possible.
on
A
day
woman,
6, she gonna be fumbling the
I
ball.
was- you know, a woman being perfect for 6 months, a man's not gonna do it.
He gonna be looking for stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I say you have to, the guy has to mentally too become, you know, counseling or whatever, because your expectations might be crazy.
You put the toilet seat down. I don't like it.
I told you. See?
what?
Like, you put the toilet seat down. I don't like it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just any and everything that you can come up with.
Yeah,
Because
no, that's
you're subconsciously looking for.
Sabotage.
yeah, that's well.
You don't think people don't sabotage subconsciously?
Did nobody ask you to use
Oh.
that word? Don't be talking about me. Elam.
Oh no! Oh my God!
He didn't even want you
That's why we don't. That's why I don't talk to you about that.
Oh my God! I wasn't even going there.
You
I know.
read through like a book.
Oh my God!
I thought we was equally yoked.
See, how do I say this? My parents have been together for going on 36 years.
Yeah.
Word.
So they've been, I mean, and they still be grabbing ass in the kitchen. So it's just
That's
like,
what's up.
Yeah, that's what.
You got
so,
to.
And
Yeah.
so
Eddie, go get my pill. Eddie, go get my pill.
Oh
No.
Sashay across.
I don't be
And as she
home like that.
sashay across.
I don't be home like
Eddie,
that.
Eddie done messed around, gave his daddy them Advil pills.
Go right to sleep.
We gonna get that, baby. We gonna get that, baby. We about 2 hours.
Oh
We
my God.
finish
Yeah,
this up.
so I've seen it like firsthand. So
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like the guy before who was the young guy with the event planner. He had like that old school kind of view of a relationship. I kind of had that too. I just don't feel like in my generation it fits. So until I found someone that kind of has those same morals,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of closed off for
You
the
got
most
so much
part.
time.
I'm about to say, you
You're
just-
27. Take your time.
Michael and Joy in the morning. MichaelandJoy.com. Here go that lyric we were talking about.
Girl, you know I say it naked. Girl, you know remember, don't be a
Girl, don't treat me like a stranger. You know I seen you naked.
Yes. You have seen me naked, and I want to hold on to you as tight as I possibly can, because I do not want to have to go through this again.
Some people
You know how
saw.
many
That's
women
that's
here? That's
there
exactly the
are
way women. I
a
don't want to start
million women
over.
out there like that.
Say
No
that
one.
again.
There are a million women out there that have that mentality of I've allowed you to see me naked, and not necessarily in the physical sense, but I've allowed myself to be seen by you. And no, I know this isn't gonna work out. Let's just stick it out.
But I don't want to start over.
Because I don't want to be the old girl in
Right.
the club, trying to do this all over again. But you know that for you to go to where you need to go, for you to go from good to great, you gotta let that go.
Yep.
Brian Joubert is hanging out with us. Brian,
Yeah.
I gotta let you know, I am not testifying in court that you were hanging out with us at the studio the day that
I was about to say,
thing
with all
went
that,
down.
with all that blood on your shirt.
I was at Power 108.9.
The live feed says that he showed up around 8 o'clock.
Cause that's state time. I can't do state time. The prisons don't look as good in state prisons as they do in the federal prisons.
It ain't about
How you know
you.
it wasn't a paper cut?
I'm about to say, yeah, the mic right there.
How you know it was a paper cut? It could have been a paper cut from trying to get him out there, right?
Yeah.
All right, OJ.
About that.
Hey, Jennifer Love Hewitt made her
Love
first
don't fit.
red carpet appearance in 4 years when she attended Fox's Upfront's premiere. The actress, who has joined the cast of Fox's 911, took to Instagram stories the next day to apologize for her appearance at the promotional event. Now, Jennifer explains in a series of videos that she had no idea the upfronts were going to be 12 hours long. Now, I guess the upfronts are part of the marketing things where you go hit your red carpets to promote your show, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's their terminology.
She said that 12 hours long and that the humidity was going to be almost 100%. She said, my hair was flat, my makeup was running off my face, and I looked like I had completely forgotten about these premieres. Nah, you forgot. You was
I
at the
woke
house.
up like this.
Shout out to Jennifer Love Hewitt. We still love you though, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Hey, Brian Joubert is hanging out with us. Brian, what you got? You got some? What you doing this weekend? You got some stuff going on this weekend, right?
I'll be in Dallas. Actually, I leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Go to Dallas, and they got the Bayou Bash, which I was invited to come out there to do some promotion on some stuff. But also, I'm looking at doing 2 locations in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
As well. So it's kind of been on the books for a while, kind of hit and miss, but hopefully we can get some things going. Then I got a couple of other projects that they kind of included me on, so I'll be looking to do a little bit in Dallas.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
D-Town?
Brian Joubert, L&B Tax Service. LMBTaxService.com is the website.
And that's the crazy thing. And people going to the website, we're going to update that today because we got our next weekend for Memorial Weekend, our 18th annual client appreciation. 18th client appreciation. Well, let me say staff and client appreciation
Free
weekend.
food?
We do a whole weekend. Free food. We got,
Okay.
the party at that's my clients too. Sweet.
Oh,
on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, the comedy club on Saturday, and then
Nice.
the cookout Sunday at Coin Park.
Open bar.
We got the whole crawfish seafood boil going on.
There you go.
Barbecue. We get
Free
down for our
crawfish.
people.
Big.
Oh, look, Elam's like, I'm there.
We're gonna
Right.
even put some scrimps on this
Okay.
year.
Nice.
Ah.
Scrimps.
Okay.
Folks show us love, man. So we
I'm
show
coming
folks
out.
love.
LBTaxService.com is the website. Elam B. King is hanging out with us today. Most important takeaway today from the show, man.
Ooh, oh man, but we went in so many different areas. But I guess first thing is, if you're in a relationship, ladies, I want you to understand. I think Joy hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Speaking of the nail on the head, a little to the left.
You have to make sure that understand that once you start, having sex with somebody, you are not only, opening your body up from a, disease and all that perspective, but you are psychologically attaching yourself to that person. And that can skew your thought processes of making the correct decision of whether you want to be with that person, whether you should be with that person or not. So I encourage people, particularly those who have or have not read Understanding a Man, Chapter 9, a double standard, stop the madness. What we're talking about in that chapter is some of the things that, maybe you were told that you can do what a guy can do and a guy can do. No, that just can't exist. And I think sex is one of them, to whereas, the more orgasms that you're having with somebody, the more you are attaching yourself biologically and psychologically to that person, and that's when you got the woman scoring moments.
24 men, 15 questions, one common goal. Understanding a Man, empowering women with tools for lasting relationships. Author Elam B. King. Where can they cop this book at?
You can go to understandingaman.com, or you can also go to Amazon or Kindle. It's available.
You can also meet me on Campbellton Road and Fairmont Road at the Texaco, because I got that bootleg jump. If you don't believe me, check out the Facebook feed in about 3 minutes. I'm gonna show you I got the bootleg. I ain't got the 2 copies. Hold on. I'll show you. Hold on.
But then good staple in the
You don't
corner.
believe me? You don't believe me?
With the clip, the big paper clip.
Understanding the man, Shawty. We got it.
So let me get an understanding. You said if you don't want to have a serious attachment, keep the orgasms down.
I mean, that you know.
You about to get another one? Hold up, I'm gone. I'm gone, baby. I'm gone.
Just one of the possible.
Yeah. All right, before we get this going, I'm letting you know.
Just take it right to the door and then stop.
Yeah, like
Before we get out of here, Maria Zapata went to go see Dr. Jorge a little more than 5 years ago because one of her knees was bothering her, right? Now, the rheumatologist told her that she had arthritis and that he'd give her injections to strengthen the cartilage in her knee. Now, her husband asked, "Why are you giving her so many injections?" The doctor reassured her, "Hey, the treatment will work." Well, guess what? There's a task force investigating the doctor, and they announced on Monday that he was being indicted on fraud involving $240 million in claims that were in part based on fraudulent statements to be submitted to healthcare benefits, resulting in an amazing payday for this doctor, $50 million. Now, the Department of Justice said on Monday that the rheumatologist had given patients chemotherapy, toxic treatments that they didn't need, all to fund his lavish and opulent lifestyle. $50 million. Lord have mercy. So be careful.
He gonna be on an episode of Dirty Money.
Right, the best advice we can give you is get a second opinion. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, tomorrow is Saturday. That means we won't be here, but we'll be back on Monday. If you miss any of today's show, go to michaelandjoy.com or power1089.com and check us out.
Yes, sir.
Wake up.
I was walk out.
What she say?
That's that Harry and Sally for real.
that's fine. She hooked.
Right.
No, but seriously. No, but why are you messing around? That's real. You give him 1 or 2 of those, she's emotionally attached.
All right, well, I gotta go. It's been a good show. Thanks.
So
soon as
even if you're upfront with them, like, you know what, I ain't even trying to get too serious with this.
Yeah, but they can't help it.
You can't help it.
Because 9 times out of 10, you know, women don't come across somebody else who's actually able to bring them to orgasm.
Oh, okay.
So now here you come along and you giving them these orgasms, and God forbid if it's multiple orgasms, oh, they all over the place.
But see, that's why we got to do that workshop on how to create that financial orgasm in a couple.
Turn it off.
No, that's
Create that
Bye,
financial
guys.
that orgasm
For
in a
more
couple
on the
relationship.
show, please go over to Michael and Joy.
Yeah, I gotta go back and listen
This was
to
a
it. We
very,
talked
very
about the
amazing
elusive
conversation. Shout out
orgasm.
to Elam
So,
King,
what
Understand the Man, Brian Jobert, Elam Tax Service, Michael and Joy on Power 1089.
Promo 2. You got that one.
From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I ask that God watch over you, keep you, protect you, expand your territory and your capacity in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I don't have all that extra. I just say
We're
bye.
going to do a quick little freestyle promo.
Mic check for me, Brian.
Like check 1 2 1 2.
Okay.
Turn up. What is Joy? Joy is what?
Doors 2.
So that's 2 and 3.
3, yeah.
So we're odd on this side, even on the other side.
Jim on this morning.
Press the record button at the bottom.
People gonna be waking up at 5 in the morning to watch that Princess Henry joint tomorrow. The
I
wedding.
can tell you who not.
Oh, let me tell you who's on.
I was going until